What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The David Lopez Show, presented by Passion Park ENT. I did that one a little different today, huh? I mean, it was kind of similar, but there was like a weird, different tone to it. I don't know what happened there. Freestyling, son. I hope you guys all had a good week. I am glad to be back. It has been a wild week in the sports world, which is the big thing that I'm going to be talking about today, because I have just been very entertained by what's been going on. And then I just dropped another thing. So it's going to be a solo dolo episode as we've been doing, but pretty sports heavy. I'm going to get into it pretty quickly. But as I briefly mentioned right up top, we just dropped a new trailer for something. So on our YouTube channel, on my Instagram page, I'm going to drop it on the Passion Park ENT Instagram page and do all that good jazz and start promoting it a little bit more. But I wanted to let you guys all know. We dropped the trailer for this documentary that I've been working on. I'm calling it a doc. It is a documentary. It's about so much more too. So I did a show in 2018. If you guys don't remember, it was actually the only time we've done the podcast live. So I rented a theater. We did the podcast live, and then the second half of the show, I did a one-man show style performance of So Much More Too, the album. And this was 5 months before the album was out. It was just, I wanted to do it. I wanted to try it out. I wanted to get a feel for if this was something that we could move forward with. I really enjoyed the experience. But anyways, this film that I'm making, or that I have made, it goes behind the scenes of that performance, and then there's some interview clips of me talking just about the inception of the album and how I created it and where it all came from and stuff. So I hope it gives the album a new life, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and it helps you get a better feel for where I was coming from when I made that project, as it took up a big chunk of my life. I try to do a video project for every album, every body of work I put out, really. For Preacher Son, I did music videos, more traditional route. I did 3 music videos, but they were really really professional and really in depth. And then for So Much More, I did the web series. For Direct Deposit, I did the short movie. And then now for So Much More Too, I wanted to follow up and do the web series. And I know I've been saying we're going to do it. I've been saying that for a while. And while I'm still open to it, I have a script that's, ever changing. I think it's at a pretty decent spot where we could definitely shoot it, but it's, I'm just trying to figure out if we're going to do it or not. It's a lot of work getting everything together and doing that while trying to, do the music and book shows and I got to work my jobs for now, until this music shit picks up, hopefully. But so it's a lot. So I'm trying to decide if we're going to be able to do the web series or not. But with that being said, at least I'll be able to have this documentary film. It's a short film. It's in that 10 to 15 minute range. And that's going to be the film project that goes with this album until we decide on possibly shooting the web series. But so I'm excited for you guys to see that. The trailer is out, like I just said. It's got some cool clips. There's some cameos. My man Rise the Rebel, who's on this podcast. Phrase, Asthmatic. There's clips from our podcast in the movie. Joe Bianco, because he performs with me. DJ RPM, my guy, he's in the film a little bit. So I have a final cut of the film, but I might tinker with it a little bit. I do like where it's at. So I don't have a release date for the project. I just want to get the word out about it, get the trailer out, and see what everybody thinks. So you can go to passionparkent.com to view the trailer. It's right there on the homepage. That's also the website that has the home for all of our stuff. So if you want to learn about Passion Park, that's going to be on the website. If you want to submit to perform at one of our future events, which I have mentioned before, we are going to get the showcase, the Passion Park experience. We're going to get that back going, hopefully, here in 2020. We're going to try to do that. So if you want to submit to perform, please do that on the homepage of passionparkent.com. And then you can click, there's the videos tab, has all of our film projects that I had mentioned before. If you go to the music, has music tabs. If you want to support us, merch is available on passionparkent.com. That is obviously a great way to support us. Not only does, financially that helps, buying stuff from us, but just you rocking a shirt or a sweatshirt or anything like that. That's the best kind of form of marketing, in my opinion. I really love seeing people wearing our gear. So you can do that. And then also, if you click the More tab on passionparkent.com, I just keep saying the website there. If you click the More tab, there's going to be some affiliates who drop down. You can buy some CBD. You can shop through some other places all on the website. If you do that on our website, you are directly supporting us as we get a kickback from them. and we appreciate them for allowing us to be affiliates and to do that. So thank you very much. I appreciate all you guys for listening. If you want to follow up my music directly and are not so concerned with just all the events and all that stuff, you can go to www.thedavidlopez.com. All my new music will always be on there. All my music will be on there, but my newest song will always be on the homepage. Right now, my newest song is Call Me, featuring Drumlord. We just surpassed 10K streams on Spotify, so thank you for everybody listening. If you haven't heard it yet, please go check it out. Share it with a friend. Tell them about it. So I am happy about that. But yeah, and I'm always gonna update it with show dates. I currently don't have any show dates to update with, so that is why there is no new show dates on there. But yeah, so go to thedavidlopez.com to support me in that regard. I really appreciate all the kind words about everything. I got some nice comments about the trailer when it came out, so I do appreciate that. Shout out to all you guys for supporting. All right, that's all of my announcements up top. And like I said, I just we're gonna get right into this right away. So speaking of the documentary that I'm releasing, I do a what to watch segment sometimes because whatever I watch that week, I'll talk about it really. I'm gonna briefly mention that maybe because I'm in the documentary mood because I've been editing this project for a while. Is that Kevin Hart documentary? Don't Fuck This Up. It's a series. They broke it up into a series, which I didn't know that at first. I thought it was a film, and then I realized that, and I like that because it's like 30-minute episodes, so I could just consume it. I haven't finished it. I just started watching it really, but really enjoy it, man. That dude he's a very motivational or very inspirational guy but he's also like, man, can you take a break here and there? Like, can you chill out? He's just constantly going. But he's he's a good dude to look up to if you're trying to grind and get some stuff done and really work and not be lazy. Because I'll tell you, he does not have an ounce of laziness in him, or at least it doesn't appear that way. He turns it up, so that's good to see. Especially somebody who's so successful like him. Like, there's no stopping. That's just a natural motor that he's got since he was young. It seems like, and then he's also. It seems the project was done. Somebody pointed this out, and I think it's a good point. Is that it's done by his own production company, right? So he's in the editing room. He's seeing all these things. But to me, it's really done so far, what I've been seeing, in a very humble way where it's not showing just the good sides of him as a project that, could be edited by you, could show. It's showing, it's really showing him not be, like at times be not the best, communicator. Things like that, and just obviously the cheating scandal is involved, and so I like that it seems to be an honest portrayal of him, and that's something I was trying to do with this. See, my documentary's not like that because it wasn't like a camera crew covering me or anything like that. It's literally just like footage from the show, and then interviews of me talking about like what had happened, like how it goes like that. But I did want to make sure that I didn't just like make myself look like it's perfect or anything like that. Like, I was trying to, show other sides and just be honest about the whole project and whatnot. So I hope I did that. I don't know. Like I said, it would be nice to get some more coverage. Like, I wish I had more coverage of like, green room shots or like just behind the scenes in the studio, like with me and some people. But like, I got to do a better job of getting some of that footage, I guess. Yeah, that's for the next time, right? For the next time. And then one more thing I'm going to talk about before I get into sports stuff, because sports is going to dominate this episode, is the Oscar nominations. Yeah. So to be honest, these Oscar nominations just came out. I haven't seen a lot of these films. My wife and I really want to see Joker. Obviously, it's old, but it's now out on demand and DVD and stuff like that. So we'll probably watch it here soon. That movie led in the nominations. A lot of people that I respect, like their opinions on films, I usually agree with a lot of stuff they say. I usually like the films they like. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of those people that I'm talking about did not like the Joker. They said it was not good. So I'm still going to give it a chance. I want to see that. I got to watch The Irishman. I know it's on Netflix. I'm just like so hesitant because it's such a big commitment. It's like 3.5 hours. But I will do that. That got a lot of nominations. I haven't seen Ford vs. Ferrari. Haven't seen that Jojo Rabbit movie, which I heard is very good. Little Woman. That's new. I mean, that got... these are all the Best Picture nominations right here. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is the one movie that I have seen out of these, and I loved it. Marriage Story. I think I just heard about that movie. And then these two I really do want to see as well. Parasite, because everybody's talking about it. It seems to be a very unique movie. Got to see that. My parents saw it. They were telling me about it. And then 1917, which is that World War I movie. I want to go see it with my dad because he's been talking about it. It looks really good. So I'm gonna try to go do that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have. I got to see all these movies before I can really talk about them. So hopefully I'll see a lot of these, and then when we get closer to the Oscars, maybe I can make some nomination predictions, some Oscar nom predictions. Oh, you know what? And back to the what to watch. I'm gonna switch it to what to listen to real quick. I want to do two things. First off, in the podcast learned world, I just listened to a great episode of the JJ Redick podcast. JJ, for those you don't know, JJ Redick is an NBA player. He's on the Pelicans now. That most people probably know he's an NBA player, but a lot of people don't know he's on the Pelicans now. But he is on the Pelicans. But he has a great podcast. He's a really thoughtful and good speaker. He's great. But he's got an episode that came out this week that was with Malcolm Gladwell and Hassan Minhaj, and it was a very entertaining listen. JJ talked about how he thinks that a lot of these young players in the NBA are more concerned with their Instagram fit than with winning and losing, which I thought was an interesting quote. I mean, I saw SportsCenter quoted it on Twitter. So, I mean, obviously that's the highlight for quote for that. But, I mean, he talks more into it when you listen to the episode. It's a good listen. So that's part of my what to listen for. And then finally, since I'm doing this today, which is Friday, January 17th, sometimes I record earlier in the week. This time I had to wait till Friday. I got to include the posthumous album from the legendary Mac Miller. Circles just came out this morning. I already gave it a full listen when I woke up. It's beautiful, man. I mean, all his music is beautiful. I mean, Good News, the first single came out last week, and I really, really liked it. It's not rap heavy. It's very melodic, very instrument heavy, but it's just I really enjoy the project. I mean, when you listen to, especially, knowing somebody is gone, like hearing the things about, like, just hearing the, like, why do I still have to be here type lines, like those kind of things. Good news is all I want to hear. Like, it's beautiful and it's dark and sad to hear from somebody who's gone. But, in the same time, he's always talked this way, and he didn't commit suicide. I mean, he technically was murdered by, a bad drug. So it's not, while all that said, it's not like he was, it's not like that's how he went, so, you want to remember that because I think he was such a light and such a great artist. So, rest in peace, Mac Miller. But go listen to Circles because it is dope. I would be surprised if it doesn't go number one. I guess I'll give this new Eminem album a listen too. He did a surprise drop album last night or today. I guess I'll give it a listen. Why not? He has a song with Juice WRLD on there, so I'm definitely going to check that out. I wonder if they made that before Juice WRLD passed away or after. Interesting. Yeah. You never know about those things. You never know intentions or what that's all about, but I wonder. Yeah. All right. So, without further ado, let's get into sports. I mean, there's just really one thing I got to talk about. I mean, I'm gonna do my NFL picks. Like last week I picked against the spread for the divisional round playoff games. I think I went 0 for 4. I would have to go back and listen, but I'm almost positive I went 0 for 4. Because wait, did the Packers win by? I don't know if the Packers covered because I think I picked the Packers. I don't know. I might have went 0 for 4 or 1 for 4. Long story short, not good. So I'll make some picks for these two conference championships against the spread, and I'll briefly talk about how good Joe Burrow is. But before I get to the football stuff, this is probably my favorite sports story in recent memory. I mean, this is the baseball scandal. I mean, what else am I going to talk about? It is my favorite story in previous. I can't think of a story that has been more riveting in my mind. I mean, I probably can't. This is recency bias right now because it's going on this week, and there's all these like literally new details coming out. New details are coming out every single day. I was just watching that Jose Altuve video this morning. I mean, I saw it last night, but I also watched it again this morning because I was lip reading more. Oh my God! All right, so let's talk about it. I was thinking about getting my friend in here who's really baseball savvy and just having an episode solely about this. Which, you know what, if he's interested, maybe we will do that. But for now, I just want to talk about it because this is crazy. So for those who don't know, I'm sure most have. It's been in the news everywhere. The Houston Astros and the Boston Red Sox, both teams won the World Series back to back. There's something else they shared too. They both have been caught and got in trouble for sign stealing. So in baseball, it's been since the dawn of day, people have been stealing signs, but now there are suggestions that they were using technology, using cameras, and really, really a dirty scheme that made this happen. Now, the most interesting part in my mind of this is that the Houston Astros won the World Series. The first year this seems to be have been implored, or put into use, whatever the word is. And then the following year, when one of the bench coach, Alex Cora, gets hired to be the manager in Boston, 2018. So this is 2017, 2018. 2018, Alex Cora is hired to be the Red Sox manager, and in his first year wins the World Series. And he brought the sign stealing scheme over to the Red Sox from every indicator. So there's all these different. I think we did talk about this before, where I briefly talked about it when it came out, because there was an article that came out where saying, some players were banging on trash cans, or they were doing doing things with their, whatever they were doing, signs that would indicate to the batter right before the pitch came that, this is gonna be a fastball, this is gonna be a curveball, whatever it may be. Now there's a rumor that came out that some of them might have been wearing actual buzzers on their body that would tell them when a certain pitch is coming or something, which is just amazing to me. The concept, the idea of that just sounds crazy, right? But then you see Jose Altuve, who hits the game-winning homer in Game 7 of the ALCS against the Yankees. He hits the game-winning homer, and as he's crossing the bases, everybody knows this in baseball, they surround you at home plate and they can start going crazy, right? He holds his jersey, gets all shy about it, cuffs it in, and you can see him mimicking. It says, I got a piece on, and then he says, don't take off my jersey, don't take off my jersey, and he comes in like this, and he just keeps saying it. It's so clear he's saying that. And then after his excuse was something to the nature of my wife was embarrassing me about doing that, so she said not to take it off or something. Some bullshit excuse. I mean, what? This is crazy. And then the other detail about this story that I'm hearing a lot of people not... I saw it on Twitter blow up a little bit, but I haven't heard a lot of the experts talk about is there's a interview with a post-game press conference with Alex Cora, the manager of the Red Sox in the 2018, or in 2019, the past 2 years. And they got swept by I think this is actually from this season. They got swept by the Yankees in London. And he says in the post-game press conference, he basically insinuates that the Yankees are sign stealing. He says, I can tell that they're doing stuff. And he says, I'm not saying anything with devices. And he says the words devices. He says the word devices. And he basically says the Yankees are sign stealing. He really accuses them of it. This is why I'm amazed that they haven't, more people aren't saying this. Because a lot of the Yankees fans and CC Sabathia came out and said that he was robbed of a World Series championship because the Yankees lost to the Astros, like I said, in the NLCS or in the ALCS. But it sounds like the Yankees may have been doing it, or maybe Cora was just accusing them for whatever reason. I heard a rumor, I think from Barstool Big Cat, that said that the Dodgers may be the next team that is called out, which also takes away some of the compassion I had for Dodgers fans, because the Dodgers are the team that lost to both the Astros and the Red Sox in the back-to-back World Series. So a lot of Dodgers fans were like, yo, what the fuck? We should have 2 World Series rings. We were robbed from both of these, and I completely understand that. But it sounds like the Dodgers may have been doing it as well. Maybe just one team does it better, I guess. And if that's the case, one team does it better, then I don't know where you can argue if everybody's just doing it. It's still so fucked up. So a lot of these guys have been penalized. No players have been penalized. A lot of people are arguing about that. It sounds like the MLB had a deal probably with the players union to say, if you guys give us as many details as you can, we will not punish the players. 3 managers have been essentially fired. Carlos Beltran was a player at the time. It sounds like he had a big part in this. Alex Cora thanked Carlos Beltran as the biggest acquiring for his tactics. It was a weird thank you. It was so clear that he was saying for imploring his new sign stealing scheme. So that was a weird thing. But so Carlos Beltran just got hired by the Mets, and they immediately, when the story came out and all these things are coming out, they have let him go already. They've agreed to let go. My brother made a good point. Carlos Beltran is undefeated as a manager, but he's winless as well. So, and then AJ Hinch, the manager of the Astros, let go. Alex Cora, the manager of the Red Sox, let go. Also, the GM of the Astros was let go. It sounds like everybody was complicit with this. Now, some people are saying, was the Astros owner complicit? And is he just letting these people go to keep himself, save his job and save his public image? That would be interesting if he was aware. I don't know why an owner would be aware, to be honest. That seems like an interesting thing for the owner to be aware of. But if there is a case that for some reason they all communicated it just so that everybody was in on it, then that I think would... the Astros, even if other teams were doing it, it's fucked up and the Astros were doing it the best way. The way they were doing the scheme sounds so a part of their culture, like they were just really embracing it. Everybody was. There's a story that they had gotten worried that I think it was against the White Sox, that I can't remember who the pitcher is, but the pitcher calls the catcher out, and he says they got our signs. They're stealing them. Like, he says it. You can see him mouth it. And then I heard that the Astros guys got worried, and they went and destroyed a prompter that they had that would catch the signs. Like, that was that they used. They would use a video thing that would come into the hallways, and then they would send the signs back out. And then, however they would do it with a buzzer, or I heard Apple Watches were used, or with the banging on the cans. All amazing. Another note for this is that the MLB did warn them, because they must have been cued in on something. They were warned them before in the season, and the Astros just said fuck it and just kept doing it into the playoffs. So I wonder. I mean, look, this investigation is not done. People are calling for those World Series rings to be turned in. Those players get like bonuses because they win a World Series. I personally, my stance on it, I don't know. I really don't, because I mean, I want to see the full investigation. How many teams are involved with this? What is going on? I don't know if you can take away rings. I mean, and just say there's no World Series champion for those years. I mean, if you could, I mean, look, if you do the split stats of home and away for the Astros in that Dodgers series, it's amazing. Like Clayton Kershaw was way better in Dodger Stadium than he was in Astro Stadium, and part of that is that they could steal signs way better at home than they could on the road. Just because of the technology they had and the way they had their locker room set up. But then if you can prove that the Dodgers weren't sign stealing in that World Series, what do? Then you just give that World Series to the Dodgers, or do you just vacate that World Series completely and we say there's no World Series winner for 2017, 2018? Oh, then you prove that the Nationals were doing it last year, there's no World Series winner for 2019. I don't. There's too far of a line where you can do that, I think. Like, I mean, they might be able to find... that another team was doing some crazy... They wouldn't be able to prove that a team was doing this in like 08 or something like that because they didn't have the technology, but maybe they were still doing it. I don't think you can take away the trophies. I think those probably got to stay. Punishment on specific players, maybe. Clearly they have an agreement where that's not going to happen, so, they just got to clean it up and move on. It's interesting. Like, some people were comparing it to like the Patriots filming practices, or the Patriots with the Deflategate with the inflating the ball, or steroids. I personally think this is worse than all of those. I don't think you can equate any of those. I mean, there was a pitcher who came out and tweeted, I think it's Alex Wood, who tweeted that he would much rather face somebody who's roided up than who is getting the signs. Makes complete sense to me. I think the advantage of in-game, that would be more comparable to the Patriots somehow stealing the play calls for the other team. So like they are somehow intercepting the calls coming from the offensive coordinator or the play caller for whichever team. That to me would be more, that would equate to the sign stealing thing, because that's in-game, live in motion, just stealing, just cheating. I mean, I got to be honest. I know I'm saying maybe the players shouldn't be punished. I don't even know. I'm not saying they shouldn't be punished. I just think they won't be punished because they're the ones who are complicit. They're the ones who are executing these things. I know when I'm playing a sport, you can feel when something's dirty, when something's wrong. Like when you can just be like, that's not right. This is the. But then again, this is their jobs. This is their salary. I mean, what they need to look into is how many players' stats were completely boosted by this scheme, and then they got paid crazy money by these teams who basically were schemed by the Astros to get these. I don't know how many players left the Astros and then signed to a new team because of how good their season was on the Astros. But I'll tell you what, those players who do, and if their numbers drop dramatically that next year, that team should get some sort of refund because that's fucked up. Like, that is super fucked up. Like, I mean, they showed Altuve's numbers home and away in the playoffs, and they were mind-baffling. Like, it was like 480 at home and like 130 on the road. I mean, you can't tell me all of that is just home-away pressure, home-away ballpark awareness. Fuck that. I don't believe that for a second. I think that jersey thing, him coming around, that he had a buzz around. 100%, I believe he did. And you could look, if I get proven wrong, I get proven wrong, and we have this on video. But there's no doubt in my mind he had some shit on. This team's like a full-on fucked up scheme. And if Carlos Beltran was at the center of this, which it sounds like he had a big part. I mean, they all were. But he was like, I'm a man of integrity. I'm a man of, all that. And he's had a great career. He's had a Hall of Fame career. I don't know, man. That's 3 years of knowing you're cheating the game and knowing you're cheating the history of the game. And I have a tough time believing that you are really a man of that good integrity when, I don't know. So I guess that's where I really stand on it. I came in at an easy place, and then when I really think about it, I'm like, that's so fucked up. That is like super fucked up. I don't think there's a way to do that in basketball, really. I mean, because even if you know the other team's play it just doesn't do this. It's not the same. I think football stealing a play call and baseball stealing signs is probably the closest thing I can compare to each other. Oh man, what a juicy story! I bet this isn't the last we talk about it. Like I said, hopefully we can get my my good baseball buddy on and we can talk about this because I'd be interested in talking more. Whoo, shit! Let me know your thoughts. Guys. Let's get into football stuff real quick before I get out of here. I thought as a Bears fan, this was a sad weekend/week of football because, we had the Chiefs playing this weekend. The Chiefs played the Texans. So you had the two quarterbacks that the Bears chose Mitch Trubisky over. You had Pat Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. I'm saying this so sad. Because, man, you could watch 3 plays from each quarterback, and it's so easy to just be like, man, we don't have that. We don't have that guy who Mitch can't make those throws. Mitch can't. At least where he's at, it doesn't seem like he doesn't have the moxie. He doesn't have to take that kind of pressure. I mean, just some of the things that Deshaun does when he just seems like. Now, granted, the Chiefs made this amazing comeback, and this was all about Pat Mahomes. He dominated. But Deshaun, when he's going, like he seems like a really clutch player. He can handle the moment. He's a leader. And Pat Mahomes is a leader, and he's one of the most talented arms we'll probably ever see at the end. When it's all said and done, I bet that guy goes down as one of the greatest quarterbacks because he's so good. His numbers were just insane. And, Andy Reid's a great offensive coach, but Pat Mahomes, holy shit. They could have just kept scoring that game. I firmly believe they could have just kept scoring. They go down 24-0, biggest comeback ever. But it was really sad to watch. And then on that Monday, the day after, was the NCAA championship game, and it was LSU versus Clemson. 2 really good quarterbacks, Lawrence from Clemson and Joe Burrow, who's going to be the number 1 overall pick from LSU. Joe Burrow, the most accurate throwing quarterback. Not the most. I hate doing that, but he's a very accurate throwing quarterback. And all I could think was Mitch can't make any of these throws. His throws are spot on. Granted, his offensive line's great. His receivers are great. He had like a full NFL team. LSU might have just had the greatest college football season in the history of college football seasons. And Joe Burrow might have had the greatest quarterback season in the history of that as well. I would have to look at the stats, but I know I've heard other people say that. But LSU was so dominant this year. And they beat some great teams. And Joe Burrow just looked amazing. He's going to go to the Cincinnati Bengals. He's from Ohio. That's my only salvaging point for him, because otherwise it'd be like, who wants to go there? He's from Ohio. Maybe it would be cool for him to resurrect that franchise and be the star of that team, because they have not had much success. Perennial 8-8 team under Marvin Lewis. We'll see if Joe Burrow changes that, because he's definitely going there. He's going to be the number 1 overall pick. That dude is amazing. But not all I could think. I enjoyed watching the games. I did. But then after, I'm just like, man, those are 3 quarterbacks who can't do what the number 2 overall pick in a draft did. Number 2 overall pick. It's not Mitch's fault. I'm not saying that, but that's our GM's fault for scouting that and making a number 2 overall pick, which is such a big deal. So that sucked. So I wanted to mention that. And then I'm going to pick against these spreads. I'm also just going to pick the straight up winner, because these spreads are Fatty McFatterson. So the Titans keep shocking the world with Derrick Henry just running all over the place. They're going to play at the Chiefs for the AFC Championship. The Chiefs are favored by 7.5, which I think is right, because the Chiefs' offense is so good that if they can hold the Titans to a couple 3-and-outs where they don't get to run too much clock, I think there's no chance, because the Titans definitely can't score with the Chiefs. So the Titans' hope is to run that clock, really have Derrick Henry really run and hold that clock down, and then keep it as a close game. That's what you want to do when you're a lower scoring team. You just want to keep a close game. So this is an interesting one, because I do think that Derrick Henry he probably will have another good game, but am going to go with the Chiefs to cover this. I think the Chiefs are going to win by 2 touchdowns. I feel like this is the Chiefs' year. I really do. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs to cover this. What I thought was interesting was on ESPN this morning, 2 guys picked the Titans, 2 guys picked the Chiefs on Get Up. That's what I read. They split it. So I mean, some people just think the Titans are that miracle team this year. I mean, they're on a crazy run. They're playing great. Tannehill's decent. He's doing what he's got to do when you have that good of a running back. So that's interesting. But I'm going to go with the Chiefs on that. Obviously I'm going with the Chiefs to cover, so obviously I'm also going with them to win. I think they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. I go, let's just pick a score. I'm going to go Chiefs 34, Titans 14. No, Titans 17. 34-17. Yep, that's my pick. Chiefs 34, Titans 17. I kind of hope we get a closer game. That's just my pick. All right, and then the other game in the NFC Championship. So the Chiefs would play the winner of this game, obviously. It is Packers at Niners, and the spread is the same. The Niners are getting 7.5. I think these teams played earlier this season. The Niners absolutely whooped the Packers' ass. It's worth noting that the Chiefs played the Titans earlier in the season too, and the Chiefs won. It was a decent game. I can't find the score in that game, but it was a decent game. But the Niners kicked the Packers' ass earlier in the season, so it makes sense that 7.5 spread. The Niners are obviously playing well. They've been the best team all year. This is a number 1 versus number 2 matchup, so that's kind of how the NFC shook down. I, though, am in this scenario, I'm going to go with the Packers. I think that they're going to make this a close game. And I'm actually, I'm going to pick the Packers to win this game. Maybe it's somewhat selfish because I would love to see Rodgers versus Mahomes. Also, maybe because my picks have sucked in the past, it's actually me picking against the Packers. And my Bears' heart's really picking against them by picking for them because I think that my picks usually fuck it all up. Now, I have a feeling that as well as the Niners have been, Jimmy G, and he looks good, and the Niners' defense looks great, I just have this feeling like the Packers are going to really show up. The Niners, Jimmy G makes one mistake in his first real playoff run, and it matters. And it's I'm going to go with the Packers win this game 24-21. It's going to be a very close game. 24-21 was that? Or 23-21? No, let's go 24-21 in this. I'm going 24-21. Packers over the Niners. So, yeah, that's my pick for that for the NFC Championship. So that would mean Packers, Chiefs in the Super Bowl in a couple weeks. I think that'd be a really interesting matchup. Like I said, Mahomes versus Rodgers. So kind of like the new great quarterback versus the older veteran who's still trying to win his another Super Bowl before he gets out of here. So those are my picks. Those are my picks, guys. I've been making the picks all year. I figured I got to keep doing it. I got to make a Super Bowl pick after this. Got to keep that going. Since you guys rocked with me all season during all of those picks. That's what I got for today's show, though. So I appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode of The David Lopez Show. Remember to go to thedavidlopez.com to find all my stuff. Go to passionparkent.com. Remember to check out that new trailer for So Much More 2, the documentary. Go stream Call Me. And stay tuned for new music. Remember, it's January. I haven't released a new single yet, so I would just stay tuned. I'll keep it at that. Stay tuned for new music. Keep supporting. I appreciate you guys. Have a good weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Watch some sports. Hang out. Relax with your loved ones. And just be easy, guys. I'll see you next week. One love.